Okay, we're doing something cool today. We're going to make, I can't see comments because I'm going to be outside doing this. And I want to drop this down even further so you're more eye level with the mold. Let me see if I can zoom in. Let me zoom back out just a little bit so you can see that I'm making. All right, I think the angle will be okay there. Might have to move over just a little bit more. Outside on this breezy day. I can't see any comments. I'll look at your comments when I'm done doing the first layer. All right, in between layers. So the first thing we got to do is put gloves on. This is the master mold. All right, from the actual. This is a master mold that came right off the clay. Peeled clay out of this. That gives me the original size of the actual. You know what? I forgot my microphone. Let me go get my microphone so we can do this right. Let me go get my mic. Let's go get my microphone. Anybody on with me? Oh, there's 3 people on. So I'm sorry. I had to go get my microphone so we can do this right. Let me unplug this first. Plug the mic in. Really? Oh, wrong one. That would be a problem. Go. Okay, now we're connected. Can you guys hear me okay? Is that a little better? No comments yet? Okay, so what we're doing, you guys can hear me, right? Yeah, okay, DP24, yes. I'm also going to be making I got a little surprise for you, DP. You're getting an extra mask because what happened was I realized the mask that I poured up was one of the smallest masks that I made of the V2. I have to make you the larger mask. So you're getting 2 masks. Today I'm going to be pouring this up for you too as well. The other one's already, eyes are cut out, ears are cut out. And man, oh man, this wind's kicking. All right, so yeah. So I'm going to send you 2 masks for the price of 1 because you're going to get the small one that's too small for anything. I don't even use that. As a matter of fact, I trashed the mold. Jesus Christ, I'm going to have to go put this thing away. Yeah, so I'm going to destroy that mold so I don't make that mistake again. It's a waste of latex, but it turned out pretty nice. The mask, my facade fell over. That's behind the table there. It's wind's kicking up over here, so All right, so I don't want to zoom in too much because I don't want me in the picture. Come on. Yeah, I want to stay out of the picture. Now, and I'll explain what I'm doing today, but let me fix this. Let me get rid of this damn thing because this is really ticking me off. This thing's going to get destroyed before I even get to use it. Ah. I'm in frame, I know. Okay, that's cool. I need to close these. This is my facade that I worked on all week. I had to work on this because, honestly, all right, so we're going to put this right up against here. And then I'm going to put this cart right up against that so it can't go nowhere. Let's move this up against here. My table saw. My table saw. That ain't going nowhere now. That won't go nowhere now. Blow all you want. That ain't going nowhere. Good. Okay, that's fixed. Whew. So, all right, so let's talk about what I'm doing here. Make sure I'm in frame still. We don't need to see me. All right, so I can't read comments until I get the first portion of this done. So I'll say hello to all of you. I'll read all the comments when I'm in between coats. And I'll also be making a latex mask in this mold over here, the V2, for DP24. So bear with me, guys. I can't do comments when I'm doing this. All right, so what we have here is the master mold that came off the clay. I don't want to lose the size of this because this mold here produces the large mask. But in order to get to reproduce this in that actual size, I have to make a urethane, not a latex. Latex shrinks. So if I put a latex inside of this, I'll pull that mask out of there, and that mask, even foam filled, will shrink about 2 inches in size. And that gives me the 24.5-inch mask, which I need the larger mask. So I'm going to make a master. I'm going to make a master copy of this in urethane, and right now I'm using urethane brush on mold 60, which is it's their hardest urethane master copy. Now this shit's a mess. So the way I do this is I keep a stick for each one and keep them separated. And I also have my mixing stick. Now I cut the cups, if you can see that, same height. It's equal parts. They're different weight variations because the weight, like this is a 100 grams to 125 grams if I were to do this by weight. But it's actually just that ratio because the weight difference in the product is they're the same size. They're the same level of it's the same amount of material. It's equal parts. Just one's heavier than the other. So with that being said, let's put some gloves on. Let's get busy. No point in lollygagging around. This stuff is messy as hell. Now each coat, the first thing I have to do is you'll notice like I cut the handles off of these brushes, and I cut the fibers back on this brush. I did that with 5 of them because we got to do 5 coats. So when I run out of brushes, I know that I've got the amount on there that I need. And we're putting 2 inches of material on each thing, and then we mix it into a bigger cup. And then we apply this. Now this stuff is white when it dries. I already made one copy of this urethane, And I made the mistake of like not really taking care to stipple it a little better. I was doing some brush strokes in certain spots that were difficult to get to, and that was not a good result. So I'm making another one. I have enough material here to literally make about four of these master molds. Now, what I do after this is done, and it's, I don't have to make this super thick. I'm going to foam fill it. I'll foam fill this. Come on. I want as maximum protection as possible with my arms and legs or everything. A little sticky out here. It's hot. Okay, so let's get busy. All right, we're going to slide this out of the way, and we're going to take this one first. I believe this is the paste. This is part B, and that's the paste. This is a brushable urethane. When I say brushable, is it's made. See how thick that is? Now what we want to do is we want to scoop that in there, and we want that to be level. Push that in, and we're going to push it in good. We'll level it out. Get all the air pockets out. Equal parts. The other one's real runny. It's not real runny, but it's runny enough. A little bit more, just to push it down inside to make sure I got no pockets inside. I see a little bit of pocketing here. It's important to really get the part A and part B as close as possible. All right, now I always add part B, the thick stuff, last to the liquid. Now we're done with that. This stuff will not cure until they're mixed. Then I've probably got about a half-hour working time. I think it's a little longer than that. I forgot my degasser. Okay, all right, well, that's all right. Now I'll leave that stick there because now this is more liquidy, this stuff here. Yeah, you hear that vacuum? That vacuum is because I have this degasser that lengthens the life of the urethane rubber inside these buckets. And what you do is you got the spray can, and this isn't the stuff, this is the universal release. And what you do is you take the nozzle, you put it in there, and you put it in just a little bit, and it sucks all moisture, anything that's in the bucket. What am I doing? I'm taking that out. Okay, so I have this here. My mixing stick is over there. And we need, that's going to be my mixing. Now we got to have equal parts here. Let me stir this up just a little bit, but I don't want air bubbles, so I don't want to be over vigorous with this mixing. You want to try and be a little careful. Now I can't see comments, guys. Anybody that's joined me, I can't see comments yet. When I'm done doing the first coat, which only takes about 15 minutes, well, I'll answer all your comments. And this is how we make a urethane master of the original. See how runny this shit is? Yeah, man. Yeah. We just need to fill that up to the top. And I try not to waste any material. I still got 3/4 of a bucket of this stuff on both of these buckets. I'm going to put a dent in it this time, though. I'm not going to make the mask too thick like I did last time. I think I made the mask way too thick. And it made it hard to get it out of the stone. All right, so that's that. We're transferring that into that bucket. Now, while I'm working with this, I don't need to degas this. It's not going to cure up that fast. That's only for when it's sitting on the shelf for a long time. I'll bring the stuff out here when I go to close this up permanently. All right, so we need to leave that there. That's for this. All right. Just get every last drop out of there. Now, none of this will cure without being mixed together. Okay, so we're going to leave that there. Now, I'll keep this off the side for the next mix, for the next batch. All right, and we'll put this back on. I'll read your comments in a few. You know, I'm self-taught with this, so anybody that's criticizing, that wants to criticize, I welcome it. But at the same time, you also have to understand, everything I do, I've learned on my own. I've never really went to school for any of this, but I'm not afraid to try things. That's the key to success in everything you do anyway. Is don't be scared. You got to try. You got to learn. In order to learn, you have to do. All right, so you see how I'm mixing the thick into the thin. And that should be enough there. So these will be there. I'll have to clean this stuff up. I should have brought my paper towels out here. I hate using that on my shirt because then I'll be. Hopefully you guys can hear me real good with the microphone attached to me instead of being right screaming at the phone. I have the microphone right onto my collar here. So now this takes a little bit of work to mix this. You got to get it to where it's real creamy smooth. See how lumpy that is right now? It's a little lumpy. When that's real smooth, you'll see it. It'll all of a sudden it really gets real creamy. And that's where we want it to be. Scrape the bottom, scrape the sides. This is urethane rubber. This will cure to a white. Doesn't dry. Urethane, any of these rubbers, they cure. There's a difference. Curing is not the same as drying. It's already starting to get creamy. See it? But I have to act fast in this thing because I don't want to run out of material before I actually have the thing stippled. Now the first layer is very thin and you're stippling all over the surface. And this sticks vertically. That's the whole point of using this brush on, because you can't use a runny material that's inside of a hole like that, because you'll never be able to get the rubber to stay to the walls. So what you have to do, get in the cup. That's it. It's all mixed. You just have to make sure the consistency is right. When you see it creamy like that, you've got it mixed perfect. And this is a product made by Smooth On. If you guys aren't familiar with, this is professional. This place, Smooth On, is a professional There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Make sure I have 5. Okay. Now I'm pulling out any loose bristles because we don't want that on the surface on the inside of the mold. So now we're coating the tip. We're not going crazy. We're not doing. Now I want to work into the face real fast. I want to work into the face first. Now I'm stippling this in. Getting into those eyebrows right now. The face is this side. Can you see the face? That's what the face. That's where the face is. I learned my lesson. Don't brush. Stipple. Stipple means press right into it. And don't do thick. Don't do a thick coat. You want it to. Now I got to get inside that nose. That's a tricky thing. And I don't want this rubber too thick, because what I learned was if you make this rubber too thick, it's a firm rubber. And what will happen is it gets next to impossible to take out of the mold. But you don't want to miss it, though. You got to make sure you get every spot. I'm getting into the chin now, underneath the neck and into the chin. In the mouth. I'm doing the face first. Now I'm going to get this ear on this side. Got to make sure I'm into that ear real good. No bubbles. That's the whole point of putting a very thin layer with a stipple, is to make sure you don't get any bubbles. If the material is real thick, you can create a bubble inside of it on the surface, and you don't want that. Now I got to get up into that head. Nice. Well, where'd all this wind come from? Now I do what I can reach, right? Like right here, and then when I flip it over to do the other side, I'll get the other side of the head. Now I make sure that my brush doesn't fold over on itself and then stick to the wall, because that causes brush marks. This should turn out a lot better than the first one. Now this takes 24 hours to cure before I can pull it out of this. I'm kind of working the one side of the face really good to make sure that I have it really covered nice. Yeah, this is gunking up already, so I got to move. I don't want to press too hard either. That's another thing. That's another mistake I was making. Pressing too hard. Okay. Now we flip it over. I like the way that looks. The stuff starts to cure pretty quick. It gets thicker as it starts to cure. It takes about 40 minutes before you start doing the next coat. Now I got to get up into that forehead, that head. See how I'm stippling this? So there's no brush. You don't want any brush marks. You have to stipple it into the detail. Now I just goofed there. I felt that brush up against that. See what that looks like. Yeah, that looks good. Piece of hair. Always going to run into that. Going to have a little bit. It's okay to have a little. All right, I got to get up into that head now on this side. Now, there's a little bit of wasted material with this one because if I don't make enough, I could have a lot of problems. If I make too, you can't. You got to get that whole thing covered. You got to get that first coat completely covered. Now, in the back of this name tag, got to make sure I get it in there good. You hear that little suction? That's nice, man. You want that because that's pulling, popping air bubbles at the same time. Do I have anything missed? I know one thing. I got too much right up in here. That's no good. Okay. All right, now we start working on the neckline. I got up inside the head real good. And we do the base. Got to make sure we get the base real good. Now that's inside that ear. I'm making sure I pop all bubbles. I'm doing it. I got to keep reminding myself to stipple lightly, because then you'll cause brush marks by pushing in and then pulling away. Stuff's really brutal when it comes to brush marks. My plan is to just do 5 coats the same method with stipple. I'm not going to use any brushing technique even as I thicken this, because I think that's where it gets really messed up. All right, we're back to the beginning. Making sure that I have it in those details really good. Still got pot life here. All right, now that I'm on the outside, you'll see what I'm doing. This grabs all your detail. You know what? I will have to cut more brushes because this brush is shot. Yeah, let me throw this in the trash can. Let's throw this in the trash can. Let's throw this in the trash can. Let me see. Hold on. The wind's blowing a little bit, so sorry if it went out of frame. This wind sucks. Ah, need a fresh stipler. I'll get a little thicker on here because the stuff's getting thicker and harder to maintain the consistency. You got to work fast with this stuff. You really do. Now, this is the base. It's important that I do the base because the base is what holds the master copy up while I stone it. Yeah, this is starting to really cure. I got to hurry up, man. Get this in here. My work time is getting limited. I think it's because it's also fairly warm out here. The base, I don't really care. I can slop that on there. What am I thinking? I don't care if that's got texture or not. It's the face. It's inside the mask that I worry about. Key is no air bubbles. I'm almost done. I'll read all your comments in a minute, guys. So this is really getting thick now. Get it on there. And push. I like making the base thick. And I don't care if there's any imperfections on that, to tell you the truth, because this supports the weight of the sculpture and the stone. Just don't want it on the inside. And I see spots where it needs extra rubber. And what I'm doing is I'm using up the stuff that I have here in the cup on the base, because I can afford to use that for thickener. I can thicken that up as long as I don't get it on the inside. Make it nice and thick. Now I'm brushing in there. That's what you're not supposed to do, but it doesn't matter because it's on the base. This doesn't matter what it looks like because it's actually makes it easier to pull out. Man, is this messy. Now, even if I missed a little bit on this, like a couple spots in there or something where it's like, because I have such a thin coat, okay, we're done. Look at this mess. If that was your hands, shame on you. Just making sure we don't have too many running spots. Pushing in any kind of air bubbles that might be there. Okay, this cup is done. So is that brush. And then we move on to answering all your possible questions or comments. We need to make a nice mask. All right, so let me take this off the tripod, and I'll give you guys a little close-up on what it looks like on the inside. Now let go. What's my battery life? I don't know where my battery is. I'll just move the tripod close to me, that's all. Now I'll read your comments, and I'll let you guys look up inside of that. See how I stippled that in there? You can't have any brush marks. That's the key. I hope I did a good job this time because I'm getting tired of doing this thing. Gotta make sure I didn't miss anything. Nah, it's all stippled. I didn't miss nothing. That's a good thing. All right, sorry I was upside down on you. All right, so let's read some comments. There's only 3 of us on. Madhouse Creation, what's happening, buddy? Haven't seen you in a long time. Or maybe you're new. You might be a new guy. Sub 3 gram. Hey, interesting. Humid as hell. It's not too bad here. We got a nice, look at it. The wind's blowing. can hear it. There's no humidity. The sun's a little warm today. But this is going to produce a master copy for me. Give me a second. I'm live. I'm coming. I'm going to jump off of here right now, and then I'll be back for part 2, because this is going to be 40 minutes before I can put another layer on, guy. A layer. I can't put anything on for another layer, and then I'll be back for part 2. All right. See you in a few minutes, guys.